Hello and welcome back to our journey through the solar system. So there are 207 known moons orbiting planets in the solar system, so I'm not going to make a video for each of them. Sorry. We've already covered the 7 largest moons: Ganymede, Titan, Callisto, Io, Moon, Europa, and Triton. This is kind of a natural cutoff because Triton is actually as massive as all of the remaining moons combined. So what about the other 200? Well, a dozen more of them are large enough to be rounded under their own self-gravity, including Charon, Pluto's moon that we already discussed when we visited Pluto. So 5 of the remaining 11 are actually moons of Uranus. These are Titania, Oberon, Umbriel, Ariel, and Miranda. All of Uranus's moons are actually named after characters created by either William Shakespeare or Alexander Pope. Titania is the largest moon of Uranus and the second furthest of its 5 major moons. It is named after the Queen of Fairies in Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night's Dream, although the character's name is actually pronounced Titania and the moon is usually pronounced Titania. Oberon is the second largest of Uranus's moons and the outermost of its major moons, and named after the King of Fairies in Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night's Dream. Both Titania and Oberon were discovered on January 11th, 1787 by William Herschel. Umbriel is the third largest of the moons and the middle of Uranus's major moons. It's named after a gnome from Pope's poem, The Rape of the Lock. And Ariel is the 4th largest moon of Uranus and the second innermost of its major moons. It's named after a sky spirit from Pope's The Rape of the Lock and Shakespeare's The Tempest. Both Umbriel and Ariel were discovered on October 24th, 1851 by William Lassell. And just the next year after that, 1852, all 4 of these names, Titania, Oberon, Umbriel, and Ariel, were actually proposed by John Herschel, son of William Herschel. Miranda, the smallest and innermost of Uranus's major moons, was discovered in 1948 by Gerard Kuiper, and named after the sorcerer's daughter from Shakespeare's The Tempest. Miranda is only 470 kilometers across, meaning its entire surface area is about the same as the state of Texas. These 5 moons of Uranus were likely formed out of a disk of gas and dust around early Uranus. They are all on prograde, tidally locked, circularized, low inclination orbits. Well, low inclination relative to the equator of Uranus. If you'll recall, Uranus is basically tilted on its side, and so that means that the moons of Uranus that orbit around its equator are actually orbiting almost perpendicular to Uranus's orbit around the Sun, which is a very strange orbit and means they have very weird seasonal patterns. Like the other outer moons and dwarf planets that we've talked about, these are rocky and icy bodies with compositions ranging between 40 and 60% ice. While none of these moons are currently geologically active and they all show signs of impact craters, they do have evidence for early geological activity, including very sharp canyons called chasmata. One feature of note is the Verona Rupes on Miranda, which at 20 kilometers high is the tallest cliff in the entire solar system. So the remaining 6 gravitationally rounded moons are all found around Saturn, in addition to the moon Titan that we've already discussed. These are Rhea, Iapetus, Dione, Tethys, Enceladus, and Mimas. Rhea is named after a Titan of Greek mythology, the mother of gods and the wife of Kronos, who is kind of the Greek equivalent to the Roman god Saturn. Iapetus is also named after a Greek Titan, who is the brother of Cronus and the father of several important Titans like Atlas and Prometheus. Dione is named after another Titan, the mother of Aphrodite. Tethys is named after another of Kronos' sisters, the Titan who was the mother of the river gods and the Oceanids. Rhea, Iapetus, Dione, and Tethys were all discovered by Giovanni Cavisi in 1671, 1672, and 1684. And at the time, he named them the Sidera can't pronounce this, but it means the Stars of Louis, in honor of King Louis XIV of France. The modern names using the Titans come from John Herschel in 1847. Similarly, Enceladus and Mimas are both named after giants from Greek mythology, and both moons were discovered by William Herschel, father of John, in 1789. Of all 6 of these moons, Enceladus is probably the one you're most likely to have heard of. Back in 2005, the Cassini spacecraft discovered water-rich plumes venting from the south pole of Enceladus. These plumes come from cryovolcanoes and are evidence of geological activity as well as a water subsurface ocean. An analysis of these plumes actually showed evidence for hydrothermal activity in that ocean, and an environment that might be compatible with the microorganisms that live in hydrothermal vents here on Earth. And in fact, the presence of microorganisms would be consistent with the methane found in these plumes. Basically, this makes Enceladus one of the most promising places to search in the solar system for extraterrestrial life. So perhaps unsurprisingly, there are 6 mission studies currently being studied for an exploration of Enceladus. NASA's Journey to Enceladus and Titan, Enceladus Life Finder, and Enceladus Life Signatures and Habitability. ESA NASA's Explorer of Enceladus and Titan, Germany's Enceladus Explorer, and Breakthrough Enceladus. I think we'll definitely be going to Enceladus in some form in the coming decades. A few cool features of these Saturnian moons. Iapetus is two-toned, with one hemisphere being much brighter than the other. It's been called a spherical yin-yang. It also has this equatorial ridge, which is one of the tallest mountain ranges in the entire solar system and makes the whole moon kind of look like a walnut. Both of these features aren't well explained, although scientists do have some hypotheses. Dione is in a 2-to-1 orbital resonance with Enceladus, orbiting once for every 2 orbits of Enceladus. And this resonance is contributing to the internal heating and potential habitability of Enceladus. Tethys has an extremely low density. It's actually slightly less dense than water, and is composed almost entirely of water ice. It's basically an enormous fucking ice cube sphere. Mimas, at just 396 kilometers across, is the smallest known body in the solar system to be rounded under its own gravity. Its entire surface area is about the size of Colorado and Wyoming together. And of course, most importantly, it looks like the Death Star, and that's 100% a fact worth knowing. So that leaves about 188 more moons, ranging from the large, blocky Neptunian Proteus to small, tiny moonlets around Saturn, and I don't think it's really worth me going through and listing them all. So I guess we will end our exploration of the moons of the solar system here, but we are not quite done yet with the solar system. We still have some major asteroids to visit, and I hope you will come back and do that with us next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye!